Hey everyone, I'm Trevor, and today we are at Disneyland, just outside the Disneyland Villas here, and that's because we're going to be talking about a Disney Vacation Club. We just bought in, so let's get going. And relocated over here to one of my favorite little spots at the Disneyland Hotel to just talk about everything with you guys. I'm going to sit down in a minute because this is probably going to be a long conversation and a long talk. And hopefully you are in for the ride. If you've ever been curious about Disney Vacation Club, we're going to go through all of the details, but right off the bat, I want to just briefly explain who Disney Vacation Club could be for, okay? Because I just want you to have that information right up the front. If you are the type of person who comes to Disneyland or Walt Disney World once every 3 or 4 years, Disney Vacation Club is probably not for you. If you come to Disneyland or Walt Disney World and you always stay at the cheapest hotels, you're booking the Motel 6 here at Disneyland, or you're booking maybe off property at Walt Disney World, or even if you stay on property, you're booking at the All-Star Movies and Music, and you're staying at the cheaper resorts, Disney Vacation Club is not going to be for you. If you are the type of person who goes to Disney, or either Disney Coast or Aulani or wherever, at least once every other year, or you go more frequently, and you are routinely staying at moderate resorts or higher, which would be deluxe, then Disney Vacation Club may definitely be worth it for you. We're going to talk about all the details, but I'm going to sit down now, and Amy's going to talk with me. So some people might say that that this is probably the worst decision that we could have made. It's a timeshare. People don't like timeshares. What makes Disney different than your standard timeshare? We'll talk about that. Other people will say that we could save thousands of dollars doing this. Who's right? Who's wrong? Did we mess up? That's kind of what we're here to talk about. Direct versus resale, and all of that information. We're definitely going to dive into this. So I just want to kind of walk through our situation first. All right. So for us, when we go to Walt Disney World, we routinely stay at Caribbean Beach Resort, which is what Disney would classify as a moderate resort. The cost, I think nowadays, is like $350 a night. It's
between like $270 and $350.
I don't think there's anything under $300 these days.
Under 3 now?
I think it's over $300 something a night, and that's even, I believe that's even like with the discount. So when you're trying to figure out the value of DVC to you, don't look at the rack rate, okay? You don't want to look at the rack rate, and you don't want to look at the rack rate of a deluxe, okay? You want to do what you currently use. So you could find the most expensive deluxe resort at Disney World, and you could look at their regular cash price and say, oh, look at all the money I'm saving. But if you never stay at those types of hotels, are you really saving money? So what we did is we used the moderate, right? Which is Caribbean Beach. And I looked up at the typical trip that we would take, typical dates that we would take, and I looked up with their discount. They have I looked if we wanted to go for Thanksgiving, Christmas, and I also looked if we wanted to go in May. The discounts that they have, the seasonal discounts that they offer, depending on which time of year, I could get the room down to $3,000 for the entire 7 or 8 day period, or I could get the room down to $2,400, again, depending on what offers going on and things like that. But so let's just take the cheapest one, the $2,400. We just bought 150 points at Disney's Riviera Resort. And correct me if I'm wrong, but the annual dues were like $1,300?
$1,350 or something like that.
$1,300 for the annual dues. So not only do you have a buy-in, which we'll talk about the buy-in in a little bit, you have ongoing annual dues. So $1,300 are the ongoing annual dues. Now those are subject to go up each and every year, but sometimes they'll go down. I've heard that sometimes annual dues go down. So let's just take $1,300, right? That's how much I'm paying this year for Disney Vacation Club after the initial buy-in. With $2,400 is what I would have spent at Caribbean Beach Resort. Now all I'm spending is $1,300. So that means that I have an extra $1,100 that I'm saving, quote unquote. The initial buy-in, again, correct me if I'm wrong, was $33,000.
I think so.
So if you run the numbers out, that was for 150 points. It's $235 per point right now. They have discounts for certain hotels, Riviera, Disneyland Villas, Polynesian, and Aulani. So the discounts will lower things a little bit. But $33,000. And if we save $1,100 per year, it'll take us 33 years to break even. 33 years. So for our standard visit of Caribbean Beach Resort, it's not really worth it, is it?
I mean, it's about break even.
Kinda.
You get the deluxe benefit for the moderate cost.
If we keep the contract throughout its entire length, which it's 50 years from the moment that the resort is opened, and if you buy in 20 years after the resort opened, you only actually have 30 years left on the contract. So the Riviera Resort, which is what we bought, has a contract through 2070. So that is
one of the longer ones,
45 years. It's one of the longer ones, 45 years. So that means out of our 45-year contract, at year 33, we will break even. Which again, doesn't necessarily sound like a great deal. It's more or less just a free upgrade to deluxe. Why have we never considered this before? That reason.
No.
That reason alone. We have been to so many DVC pitches. It just has not really been worth it to us in the past. Something changed 2 years ago. What changed?
We went to Aulani, which is a deluxe resort.
We
it costs a lot.
Fell in love with Aulani. Man, did we fall in love with Aulani. And yes, it's a deluxe resort in Disney's coding. They don't call it that because it's not a part of the Walt Disney World Resort. They don't call Disneyland and Grand Californian and Pixar Place deluxe resorts, but they are.
Yeah.
And so we started going to Aulani. When you crunch the numbers for Aulani, do I have that written down here? I don't remember. No, I don't have it in my notes. I don't have it written down. I'm trying to remember. It's like $5,000, $4,500 or $5,000 for what we normally do.
I think it might even be more than that, depending on like time of the year.
And,
like if we
and
go
after
at Christmas,
discounts,
I think it's like $6,000 though.
Yeah, if you go at Christmas, if we go at a normal time in May though, after discounts, it's about $4,000. So $4,000, and now I'm spending $1,300 a year. So do the math. What is it? It is $2,700, right? So now my break even is about 12 or 13 years. This sounds much, much better than the 33 years for breaking even at Caribbean Beach. So with that in mind, if we had signed up for Disney Vacation Club 12 years ago, when we initially had thought about doing it,
We would already be breaking.
we would already have reached the break even point, and everything there forward would, be icing on the cake. So we decided to make this plunge because we want to go back to Aulani. We want to go back to Aulani with more frequency. And, it would be nice to try out some of the deluxe resorts at Walt Disney World.
Well, and now that the kids are getting older, one thing that we've wanted to be able to get advantage of, but we never have at Disney World, is they have the extra evening magic hours at certain parks where you can get an extra 2 hours in Magic Kingdom or Epcot. I don't know if the other two parks do it, but I know those two parks for sure do it.
Yeah.
And it's like, as the kids get older and can stay out later, we would love to be able to, have that extra time, even if we only stay for an hour of it. Being able to hop back on a ride after the shows in Epcot, especially when everybody else is making their way out, and we can just be like, hey, we can go on a ride again.
So,
It's a big deal.
couple those benefits with the whole idea of, we wanted to stay at Animal Kingdom and do a Savannah View room. James loves giraffes.
Yeah.
He is just this huge lover of giraffes. He is going to love staying at Animal Kingdom in a Savannah View room. But when I look at the rack rates for that hotel, even with the discounts, the costs are just way too expensive for me to ever pay out of pocket for. But now that we have DVC, we'll be able to afford those types of things. And that also helps our break-even point, since we'll be staying at deluxe resorts a little bit more frequently. Again, to see if it's worth it for you, you don't want to do that. But once you decide you want to buy in, then you can start using, staying at deluxe resorts to sort of compensate. Yeah, of course, they don't have the ability... Well, okay. You can use points to book something like Caribbean Beach if you wanted to.
But you're going to pay a lot more points.
The points just are not worth it.
No.
There's really never a reason that you would want to do that. The point cost to stay at I mean, even here at the Disneyland Hotel, this is the Frontier Tower behind us, the tower that we just stayed at 2 weeks ago. Call staying at this hotel kind of the last little nudge we needed to push us over, because, man, wouldn't it be nice to have like one time a year, one day a year, where we just get to splurge and come stay at the Disneyland Hotel. If we wanted to stay at Frontier Tower with all of the special little perks of Frontier Tower and, you know, any of the other Disneyland Hotel towers, exchanging DVC points for that is just ridiculous. I don't remember.
It's not worth it.
It's not worth it at all. But you could stay for like something as low as like 13 points for a single night. We bought 150. We could stay at the Disneyland Villa in like January, just sometime in January, and it'd be really, really fun just to do that. And I'm going to put some footage of the rooms on your screen right now. We walked through our guide, so just to explain what happened, we scheduled an appointment online before we got here. That we knew we wanted to talk to them. We checked in, they assigned us a guide, and then that guide took us on a tour of the property. And he showed us the pool area, which is a shared pool with the Disneyland Hotel. So if you are staying as a Disneyland Hotel guest, you can use this pool area. You are seeing right on your screen the Steamboat Willie pool, which...
A little splash pad.
Yeah, a little splash pad.
I guess it's the only splash pad in the whole Disneyland resort, so keep that in mind.
And then also in the very back of that area, he said there are some duo studios. So if you are looking for smaller rooms just for two people that are going to be cheaper point-wise, so like if Amy and I ever wanted to come up here on a date night and we wanted to use the cheapest amount of points as possible, those duo studios that are in the back are perfectly useful for us. Then he showed us around the deluxe studio, and they have two different stories, he said. Two different stories they tell in the deluxe studios. There is Aurora and Sleeping Beauty. And then there is Tiana and Princess and the Frog. So we'll pan through a bunch of different clips that from inside those deluxe studios. This is your standard sort of hotel room.
It's a little bit different in that you get a fridge and a microwave and your coffee maker. So unlike the standard rooms that aren't going to have a fridge or a microwave, you at least get a fridge and a microwave. So if you've been in the park and got dinner and had leftovers, you know, or you ate somewhere, you can bring those back. So it's a little bit better, you know, more like home in that sense.
So from the deluxe studios, the view isn't necessarily as great as there aren't balconies. I think he said there are some with balconies that if you request, he said make sure you just request a balcony.
Those were the duos. Were there deluxe studios?
It might have been the duos.
Any of the deluxe studios
might have been the duos he was talking about. But he said to put in a request for a balcony. Some rooms have balconies and some don't. But the one that we toured did not have a balcony, and the view was mostly blocked by different towers. The one bedroom suite that he took us into, the one bedroom was really nice. It's pretty much the same occupancy. It's just one extra person because there's a pull down bed in there. But the room size is just that much larger.
And it's got more bathroom space.
Yes.
It's got. Did that one?
That one had the double vanity. Yeah. Well, technically, there's 3 vanities. There's one in the main, like by the kitchen, and then there's 2 off of the master. 2 vanities and a soaker tub in there, and so really nice.
That's the one that had 2 toilets.
It had a shower on one side and a toilet on the other, and then the smaller one had a toilet too.
It's a 2-bedroom that had like the extra whole bathroom.
Yeah, we didn't get to tour a 2-bedroom, so he just showed us photos of it. So I don't know exactly what to tell you there. But the 1-bedroom was much larger. We thought that looked really nice. Of course, 1-bedroom costs more points than a deluxe studio. We're probably going to be booking deluxe studios for the most part. When we've gone to Aulani, which I'll put a couple of clips of our room on your screen right now, that was a deluxe studio, and that's what we're used to staying at when we are at Aulani. So that's what we'll definitely continue staying at when we go to Aulani for a little while at least. Each view is going to have, cost you more points as well, but 150 points, we priced out 150 points was enough for staying at Aulani and staying at the Riviera, which is, what we really had wanted to do. We picked Riviera because we stay at Caribbean Beach all the time.
We love the Skyliner.
We love the Skyliner.
The Skyliner is probably our favorite, and our person who we were working with today, he said that's like his favorite mode of transportation
Yes.
at Disney World too. Like, we were all hesitant when it came out. Like, I had very low expectations when they announced the Skyliner for Disney World, and even the first time I rode it, I was like, I'm gonna hate this thing, and it instantly became a huge, you know, like, that's make Caribbean even more worth it. And so with this, we were like, you know, yes, we could. I think we're looking at maybe the Poly as one of the other places, but we tend to go to Epcot more out
Yes.
of all the parks.
Epcot's our favorite park.
And we love the Skyliner. And so for us, the Riviera just seemed like, okay, this is going to be the best fit for us.
So let's talk about why Riviera might not be a good fit for some, and let's talk about direct versus resale. So direct means that you're purchasing a contract directly from Disney, hence the word direct, and resale means that you are buying a contract from somebody else who owns DVC who is selling. Now, just because somebody is selling DVC does not mean that they found it to be a terrible deal, they were losing money, and they just hate it. A lot of times, it just means that their stage of life has changed, and they're no longer going to Disney World as often.
Like,
they did it for 10 years,
like
and
we've heard of people say, you know, oh yeah, I bought into DVC, I used it for, you know, 15 years, but
Yeah.
then my kids didn't want to go anymore, and we got busy, and we didn't
Yeah.
want to go anymore, and so then they just decided to sell it.
And the other reason that people sell is because they fell on financial hardship and they need the cash. And so this is real estate. Purchasing Disney Vacation Club is purchasing real estate. And you can sell that real estate on the resale market. And then you'll get cash, you know, just like you would from selling a house. And you can take that cash for things if you fall on financial hardship. Just be aware that the resale market is about, I mean, not all of them. Some of them, like the Polynesian, has a very good, robust resale market. But if you were to sell at Aulani, it's about half of what you bought it for. So if you bought it for $33,000, you could expect to get about $16,000 for those same amount of points on the resale market. Now, that means, wait, you could sell it for $16,000. That means somebody's buying 150 points for $16,000. Why did you just spend $33,000 direct from Disney if you could buy 150 points on the resale market for $16,000? That's half the cost. Shouldn't you have done that? Well, we thought about it.
Yeah.
And there's a whole bunch of stipulations with that. So first off, the main thing, not the main thing, I guess, but the one thing that we were considering is that you would not be a Blue Card member. What does that mean? Do you want to explain Blue Card member?
So Blue Card member is what allows you to get, I guess in a sense, all the benefits of DVC. If you buy a resale, you won't get access to some of their special events. You won't get access to the lounges that are in some of the parks. So like Epcot, Magic Kingdom,
Disneyland,
and even like Disney Springs in Florida, they have a lounge where you can go in. They have soda, snacks, air conditioning.
And by the way, the snacks I've heard are just things like bags of Cheez-Its
like
or Rice Krispie treats. It's not like fancy food, expensive food. But I mean, if every time we're here up at Disneyland, which is a lot, and we just walk in there with the kids and let them get like a Rice Krispie treat or a bag of Cheez-Its, and a drink.
We can go get, I think they have freestyle machines, so like we can
Yes,
go get
I've heard that.
You know, zero sugar Powerade or something. Like to us, that's to us, especially since we can use that here at Disneyland, being pass holders.
Yeah.
That was kind of a big perk that we still wanted. Now, I could see if you were only coming out once a year on DVC, it's the only time you're ever using some of the benefits, you know, maybe those aren't worth it to you. But for us being Magic Key holders, the fact that we're up here probably like every 2 weeks.
I'm up here once a week.
You know, having access to the lounge actually was a big deal for us.
It was a big consideration for us.
Because we wanted to be able to get those extra perks.
The other consideration, and this is the big one to me, this is the big one. All of the new resorts from the Riviera and forward have a stipulation in them that resale owners cannot book at those hotels. So if we ever wanted to stay right over here at the Disneyland Villas, buying resale, we would not be able to stay there. Now, we could stay at the Grand Californian because that is one of the original 14 hotels, and one of the original 14 is what you can book resale. At the moment, the only ones you can't book resale are Riviera, Disneyland Hotel, and the cabins at Fort Wilderness,
And what about
and then Lakeshore Lodge. That's the next one that's like coming out.
What about new tower at Polynesian?
No, that's part of the Polynesian,
okay.
and the Polynesian is one of the original 14,
Oh, okay.
so the new tower is not under restriction.
But yeah, they are building the new one up.
But Lakeshore Lodge. That one will, and anything else that they make from here on out will be under those stipulations. So the only people who can stay at those hotels are people who own direct. And that was a big factor for us because we want to stay at the Disneyland Hotel. I've also heard the Grand Californian is extremely difficult to get into.
Because it has availability for resellers, I think, too.
Well, part of that, and I've heard that the number of rooms is very small.
Okay.
So that
whereas like Disneyland has this whole tower right here at the villas.
So there's booking windows, booking priorities. If your home resort, you can book 11 months out. And every other resort, you can book 7 months out. So the people who own at the Grand Californian are pretty much taking all of the reservations. If you do not own at the Grand Californian, the likelihood of you getting a Grand Californian reservation are very slim. It's possible. We have some friends who own Resale, and they said they've stayed there once, but only once.
Only once.
Yeah. And so, again, booking direct was important for us so that we could stay at the Riviera because we love that hotel. We've walked the grounds. Never stayed there, but we've loved the hotel. The Disneyland Hotel here, we want to be able to stay here, plus any of the newer hotels that come out. So that was a big factor for us.
Another thing with Riviera is if you look at some of the studio rooms, like the standard studio rooms for Disney World, there's only a few that have the 5th sleeper. And to us, that was also a big deal because most
Riviera has a 5th
Riviera
sleeper.
has that, and so for us, like if Trevor's mom comes with us, we can all fit into one room. Also, as the kids get older, even if we don't have anyone else with us, they prefer not having to share a bed.
Yeah.
And so having that 5th sleeper means that they'll be able to sleep on separate beds and not have to like be kicking each other all night like they sometimes do in regular beds.
So we wanted to pick a home resort that was going to be useful to us. It came down between Aulani and Riviera for us. We weren't going to do the Disneyland Hotel. We would never stay here on like a 3 or 4 night trip. This is going to be if we have extra points, we'll stay here for 1 night. So we didn't book here as our home resort. The only reason we didn't consider Aulani is because I've heard it's easier to book Aulani at 7 months than it is Riviera.
Yeah.
So we went with Riviera. And obviously Aulani doesn't have the 5th sleeper in the Deluxe Studios. If you've seen our Aulani videos, Disneyland Hotel does not have the 5th sleeper in the Deluxe Studios. They do in the 1 bedrooms. But they do not in the Deluxe Studios. So Riviera just really works for us in so many different ways. So that's why we picked Riviera. Again, we picked direct so we could stay in some of the newer hotels and we don't get restricted out of them. Plus, and this is just speculation, I asked the cast member our guide actually, they call them guides, our DVC guides. His name was Bill, and Bill was really great. And if you need a recommendation, like a referral, to talk to Bill when you are here, we'll give you his name. Just let us know like his last name, and you can call them and figure that out. But Bill was amazing. I asked Bill this. I said the speculation amongst owners out there is that some of the hotels on the resale market, we're talking about Boardwalk Villas and Beach Club and a couple others, only have 17 years left on their contract. They expire in 2042. And the theory is that when those contracts expire, that Disney will, first off, anybody who owns as their home resort at those places will cease to be owners at that resort when the contract expires. The theory is that that Disney will update, renovate the resort, renew the contract, like not renew it, but like start a brand new contract with the stipulation that resale owners can't stay there. So if you are a resale owner at a place like Aulani that has 37 years left, and you plan on keeping it for the entire 37 years, there is the possibility that you will have a dwindling supply of hotels to choose from as contracts run out. That's not confirmed, and he didn't confirm it either when we were talking about it, but he said this: Disney has been taking steps to make ownership direct through Disney a more valuable proposition, so that the people who paid direct don't feel like they're getting gypped because of the resale market. And he said he wouldn't be surprised if what we suggested is something that happens, but he did not confirm that it was going to happen.
I don't think anyone can really confirm it, but like you said, they want the people who actually book direct, to feel like, oh, okay, this is worth paying the extra cost to book direct.
So something that I've read online, and I've done a lot of research on the topic, so if you want to ask me questions, I've done more research in the last 2 weeks on this than I think I have for many papers in college. Like, that's just, I could probably write a dissertation on DVC. That's how much information I have gleaned over the last 2 weeks.
You need to go become a DVC guy?
Some people have said that it's a smart move to buy resale first because it's cheaper. And then look out for member discounts. They'll offer flash sales, as he called them. Like, sometimes he said the flash sales are $30 off per point, which is a big deal. And then when you factor that in with like other discounts and promos that they'll offer, like if you buy 150 points, there's a point break, a cost for point break. If you buy 200 points, the break is even further. And people were finding that it's actually about the same cost as resale sometimes when they have these flash sales, and it's buying direct. So you get all the perks and benefits of those points direct. So what people will say is buy resale first, then you'll get the member discounts and you can buy direct later. Right now, the minimum points you have to buy to get the blue card is 150 points. The minimum contract that you can purchase is 100 points straight out the gate. You can purchase less than that after you're a member. You can buy 25 or 50 or something like that, but right out the gate, the minimum is 100. If you buy that 100 pointer, you don't get the blue card. You have to buy the 150 to get the blue card. And that's the lounge access and things like that. Another stipulation that I've read is that those perks are not guaranteed. At any point, Disney could decide that they don't ever want to offer lounges anymore, and that they don't ever want to offer after-hours events anymore. They can take all of those things away. The discounts. This was another thing. We didn't mention this. Being a blue card member, you get 10%, I think 10% or 15% discount at all of the Walt Disney World table service restaurants.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
That's a big one for us.
That's a big one.
That is a big deal to us, because when we go to Walt Disney World, we have a sit-down restaurant every single day of our trip. Typically.
Not this next trip.
This next trip that we have coming up in 3 weeks is what we call a budget trip. We are staying at a value hotel. We cutting the number of table service restaurants in half. We booked a red-eye flight. I mean, we are literally doing it as cheap as humanly possible. So normally we would, but it's a big deal to us to have that discount. So it's like I get an annual pass holder discount at both parks now, at both coasts.
Which I think actually will be big, because getting to save, 10% on some of those will help a lot.
Speaking of annual pass holder discounts, this isn't something we'll take advantage of because we don't go often enough, but maybe you do. If you go at least twice to Walt Disney World, being a DVC member gives you access to a discounted, I think it's discounted, or maybe just access.
It's just access to
the Sorcerer Pass.
But that pass is normally only available to Florida residents.
And you are a Florida resident as a DVC member because you own timeshare, so essentially you become a Florida resident. You don't get access to all 3 Florida resident passes, just the Sorcerer Pass. So it's still not quite the same but we don't go often enough to make that worth it. And our guide told us, if you only go once a year, you just want to buy the tickets.
For people who live in, I would say like Georgia, Alabama, even maybe Texas. I know there's a lot of people out east who they say they go down, 2 to 3, sometimes more times a year. This would be for you guys. DVC actually would be worth the consideration, especially if you're going down that many times, even if it's only for a couple days. And if you get access to that pass that only Florida residents can get, it could actually be very worth your while.
So let's talk about some other things here. We bought direct to begin with. If we want more points, I'm absolutely buying resale. I've got the member lounge access. I've got the perks from booking direct. So if I buy 150 more points, I can tell you right now I'm probably buying 150 points at Aulani. So as soon as I get $16,000, which will probably take us around 4 years to save up for, maybe less. We paid off our car, $24,000 for our car. We paid that off in 2.5 years. 2.5 years. So we might be able to scrounge up and get it sooner.
Depends on how long the other car holds out for, though.
We might have. We have a 13-year-old car, I think. I think it's 13. 11-year-old car.
Same age as James.
So we may need to purchase a new, we might end up having to use money for a new car at some point in there. But we did pay off $24,000 on our car in 2.5 years. So if we can, we're going to save up the cash, and we're going to talk about financing in a minute, but don't finance. That's the bottom line. if you save up the cash, and we'll save it up over the next couple of years, and then we'll drop it on resale, buy 150 more points at Aulani. Then we have our home resort at Aulani and Riviera. Now we can book at Aulani at 11 months and Riviera at 11 months, but you can't combine the points until after the 7-month mark. So if I wanted to use 300 points, I can. I just have to wait till after the 300 points, or after 7 months. And the contracts have to be the same use year. We didn't explain use year. I'm not going to explain use year in this video. It's way too complicated. I spent 45 minutes talking about the use year with this guy. So Amy was just sitting there like everything was going right over her head. If you want to talk use year, ask me down in the comments. We'll talk use year.
In a whole nother video.
In a whole nother video. But 300 points after 7 months. I could use those 300 points at any of the original 14. Or if I wanted to stay at Disneyland Hotel or the cabins at Fort Wilderness, I would have to use only my 150 from Riviera, because the 150 resale could not be combined with the direct points to stay at one of the direct hotels. Does that make sense? If I want to combine the points for 300, I have to stay.
I guess Aulani still has quite a few years
Yeah.
on his contract.
I still can stay at the Beach Club, the Boardwalk, Saratoga Springs, Old Key West, the Polynesian, Bay Lake Tower, Copper Creek, Boulder Ridge, Animal Kingdom Lodge. I can stay at all of those places with the full 300 points. So I think it'll be worth it to do that as soon as we can. And the reason why I say that is, while we have enough points for deluxe studios, man, those 1-bedrooms.
They're nice.
I want a 1-bedroom now. I really do.
You don't need it.
But I want it. So you know that it looks really nice. I wouldn't mind doing that. But let's talk about the financing of this. So thankfully for us, we have always been the type of people to carry no debt. That's just who we are. The car is the biggest thing I've ever carried debt on, and again, the full financing was 6 years, and I paid it off in 2.5. And I think I had 0% APR for the first 2 years, so I only had interest on the last that was actually about 4 months. I think I paid it off 4 months afterwards. We had 0% APR for the first 2 years, and it wasn't officially 0% APR. But the deal that we got essentially made it, I'm not going to bother explaining it, but
honey. Irrelevant.
Irrelevant. Thank you for keeping me on topic. In any case, we are the type of people who don't carry debt. So we've had a significant nest egg built up already. And I also went around and basically started selling a bunch of stuff to get the rest of the money. And so we are paying cash. We did not finance. And I don't have the money right now, though. I am in the process of getting all of the money. I've sold a bunch of stuff, and I don't get paid from the places where I've sold them for another couple of weeks. And so I said, hey, do I have to pay it all down right now today if I'm paying cash, or what? He said, no, you can do 60 days, same as cash. So there's no financing. We didn't get our credit pulled. We didn't sign any contracts for financing. And we have until 60 days, which today is November 2nd, so I have until January 1st to pay this off. And we scheduled all our payments out already based on when I know that I'm going to be getting the cash. We scheduled the payments out. So we're paying cash, we're not financing. They will, if you let them, they will try to sucker you into financing. The first guy that we met, and I did not want to meet him because the way that he was talking to me when we first met him 2 weeks ago, he basically said, oh, you could buy in, you can afford this, it's like $250 a month, look, 15 years, well, you can do this. And I looked at the amounts, oh man, that's like 10% financing, 10% interest. For $33,000, like the cheapest one, like the 10-year one, was going to be like $66 after financing. Double! Just to pay $250 a month, or $300 a month, or $350 or whatever it was. I don't even remember what the amount was. Please don't do financing. It is a very bad proposition. I mean, you're better off buying 16,000 resale than you are trying to do direct financing. You can finance resale too, by the way. It's just like buying a house. It's like buying a mortgage. But again, everybody will tell you. Everybody who's a DVC member will say, just save up and wait till you can pay cash. please don't. I'm definitely not recommending financing. I will never tell you to do financing because it's a loss. If you do financing, aggressively pay it off in less than a year. Aggressively pay it off in less than a year. You need more time than 60 days, fine. But make sure you have a plan to get it paid off as fast as possible, because every month that goes by, you are losing money. Otherwise, yeah, I think that's it. Yeah. 33 minutes according to the camera. Also, there was the little intro and things like that. But 33 minutes, I thought this video was going to be longer. If you got questions, let's actually, we can make this video longer.
What?
Show the bag.
But maybe we should let them have a surprise if they ever join.
We got this little welcome bag here. Just for signing up today.
Some hats.
Got some hats. 4 hats. There we go. Four hats for the kids too. Although they're probably bigger than.
They're probably too big on me even. Coasters.
Got some coasters.
Which I think are really cute actually.
Stay magical.
I'm not gonna unfold it, or maybe I will. A tote bag.
A tote bag.
Okay, that's actually really adorable.
Oh, it's Chip and Dale. It's your favorite. We're looking at this at the same time you are. We didn't actually look at this when we were in there.
I haven't looked through everything in here. I looked through some of it. Because, Disney loves their magnets.
Yeah, we got a DVC member magnet.
There's postcards.
Open it up. So we got some, I guess, 70th anniversary exclusive ones.
And he said something about, you can collect from other places?
Yeah, he said other, I don't know where you would, though. I guess the Grand California.
Oh, look, we got a DVC button. And it says member since. I guess we'll have to, write in
to the date, yeah. November 2nd,
and then
2025.
We got some lanyards. Which I'm like, ooh, cruise line.
On top of those things, he also gave us 3 lightning lanes for today. One lightning lane that's usable on any attraction, so we can take it on Rise of the Resistance and Radiator Springs Racers, those premium rides. And then 2 lightning lanes to use, on the other lightning lane attractions. And so, yeah, you get the special, little lightning lane perks as well. Oh, there's the lithographs.
Yeah. Ooh, we don't have that one.
We got an Aulani lithograph here.
There's 4 of them here.
Oh, a bunch of lithographs. Here's another one. Is this the Polly?
Yeah. Polynesian.
And then just a welcome home. And then the final one is Steamboat Willie down here.
The villas, I think.
But it's the villas. It's covered up with this postcard thing, but yeah. So we got that was everything that was in the little welcome bag. So standing back up with the waterfall in the background again here. Yeah, it's time to close out this video. We bought into DVC. Should you? Well, that is entirely up to you and your frequency of visit and where you typically stay. If you are already paying like the $600, $700, $800 a night rate at the Disneyland Hotel, you could absolutely be saving money with Disney Vacation Club. If you're staying deluxe when you go to Walt Disney World or making trips to Aulani, all of these deluxe resorts, you are absolutely going to be saving money with Disney Vacation Club. Again, if you have questions, drop them in the comments below. Always happy to answer them. We can also give you a referral if you actually want to talk to them. And if you use our referral, I think we get like a $120 dining credit. So that would be like a really nice perk. They used to have something called Dream It Forward, which is still called Dream It Forward, but they used to have where you would get a $500 discount. Unfortunately, they told us that they're not doing that right now. I don't know if they'll bring it back in the future. But while we're talking about discounts, you do get $500 off for being a gold member with D23. And I was not before talking to him, but it was $50 to sign up and be a gold member. So I literally signed up and paid for D23 right there on the spot, paid $50, and then got $500 off my purchase of DVC. So I saved $450, and I thought that was worth it. But yeah, Dream It Forward. If you use a referral link, we'll at least get a dining credit, and maybe if they bring back the $500 discount for you in the future, that would be something worthy to you. So we'll put our link down in the description, assuming I can get my link by the time this video drops. If not, just ask me. I know one of you already. Don't remember your name off the top of my head. Sorry. I know we've talked about it a couple of times. Graham, maybe? I think it was Graham. If you are, you want to use our referral link because you're already planning on purchasing DVC, please do that. We would greatly appreciate it. And I already said if you have any questions, I'm always happy to answer them. Don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button on your way out. Click this video to check out more of our Disneyland content. Thanks for watching, and we will see you again next time.